In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, the Truthful, and the Most Just. Allah's Salam Alaikum. We are going to take back up as I told you I would finish that song for you.
All callers are muted. All callers are unmuted. All callers are muted and they can unmute themselves.
And we will do that. But as it's written, it says this people draw nigh unto me and honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. As a man understands in his heart, so is he. You know, anytime you put your hand to a book of prophecy and think you reading a history book, that's what Jesus was saying. Whosoever put his hand to the plow and look back, you ain't fit to teach nobody nothing about that book. You're looking back in the book telling you what to look forward to seeing. And so I'm here. They've been singing about my coming and some of everything. And now that what they've been singing about is here, they are unaware. Like this next verse said, go ahead and say I'm dead. Dead and gone. But you will see that you were wrong. They did have an old saying in there. Started back in 1960. Some of the brothers that's old enough to remember, God is dead. You remember that? I'm he that liveth and was dead. And says, go ahead and try to hide the sun. If you continue in my word, then shall you be my disciples indeed, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. And if the Son therefore shall make you free, you shall be free indeed. Go ahead and try to hide the Son. Try to hide the truth. But all will see that I'm the one. Yeah, that's a deep tune. If you already knew who the one is, why would you sing that song that the one tells you soon you'll see I'm the one? So this last verse here is really tells you what time it is. Let's see here. If I can find it. Here it is. Say, 'cause I'll come again. Ain't no power on earth can keep me back. Yes, I'll come again. Come to take my people back. Now, God said, let us make man in our image after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish, fowl of the earth, the fish of the sea, over the cattle, and over the earth, and every creeping thing that creepeth upon the face of the earth. In 6,000 years you can do that. But In the 7,000th year, I'll come again and take my people back. And we taking them back now. And you see, there was a time when you could find people that wanted to call themselves arguing with me, thinking they could tie me up with foolishness. There ain't no power on earth can tie me down. You done heard some who I taught try to come back in here and use my teachings against me. You ain't never gonna be that wise. I can't even tie me up, let alone you. I don't care what I teach you. I ain't gave you nothing that you can use against me. So, now run and tell that. So I'm going to see if he sang it like I like it. If he don't, I'll bring it up. I guess I'll let y'all hear this black man singing it. He didn't do the best job on it, but he did a good job on it. So I'm going to go here and bring it up and see what we got here.
It's such a pleasure to be ministry. I stand here a Christian, my life given to the Lord, because He has done just exactly what He said He'd do. He said, on the third day, I will rebuild the temple. I will rise again. And He did it. He said that I will come again. And you want to know something? He'll do that too. Would you listen to this song? Go ahead, drive the nails in my hands, and you can laugh at me where you stand. Go ahead, say it isn't me, but the day will come when you will see. So go ahead, go ahead, you can mock my name, but my love for you is still the same. So go ahead and bury me, but soon, very soon, I will be free. So I'll rise again, 'cause there ain't no power on earth can tie me down. No, I'll rise again. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. That's 'cause death can't keep me in the ground. So go ahead, say that I'm dead and gone, but you will see that you all were wrong. So go ahead and try to hide me the sun, but all will see that I'm the one. That's 'cause I'll rise again, 'cause there ain't no power on earth that can tie me down. Don't you know I'll rise again? Yes, I will. Yes, I will. That's 'cause death can't keep me in the ground. And I'll while. Come to take my people back a while. Come to take my people back.
So a lot of them songs is, now you see why they were called gospel songs. You know, they're rooted in the gospel. And, you know, I mean, I'm not, as the messenger said, he said, I don't care what you believe in. You could believe in Buddha. He said, but Allah's not going to let you go and get away with bowing down to some other God. He's going to come and when you know anything, you be saying, Mr. Muhammad, I'm with you. He's going, no, he ain't going to let you get away with bowing to some other God. No. He's going to make you to bow to him. That's what he said. And you'll notice, I stand up and teach you for hours and hours and hours. Used to couldn't get 5 words out without somebody call themselves disagreeing. Now if I get 50,000 words out, ain't nobody got nothing to say. Who shut who up? I don't know why you'd be mad with me when I'm here to put you on top. Do you not see that you're moving on up? The messenger said, you find that man that's not afraid. He said, that's the winner. Did you hear anybody accuse me of being scared of white folks? Anytime a man talking about want to make peace with you and scared of you, he can't make no peace. Don't listen to him because he's scared. He's talking from fear. I'm not talking from fear. The ice still melting, waiting for you to clown. Then you'll see how scared I am. Only thing I'm scared of is hurting you. So I sure ain't scared you're going to hurt me. Nope. Well, that's when Allah decrees a matter. Finish it. Son of man, be not afraid of their words, nor their looks. I think he said that. And I think that the fear done gone from me. When you trust in God, if you really trust in him, when he tell you something, that's that. That's just like when Daddy say, go on, I got you back. I'm with you. I'll go down there with you. Let's see him do something to me. That's that. Moses say, who am I to go to Pharaoh? He said, I'm going with you, Moses. Well, let's go. Is that right? That's the good one to have with you there. He didn't saw what that God could do. Yes, sir, brother. I mean, he cut off nations, brother. Bury you, knock you off the beach in 60 seconds. Gone in 60 seconds. Drown you. And then the ocean go back being so calm, looking like it didn't do nothing. That ocean is a creature, man. It come and get you. Huh? Yes, sir. I don't know what makes you think water ain't alive and you need water to live. Boy, you don't know what's going on around you. Yeah. Everything is alive. All live under him. Be ye iron, be ye stones or iron or some other creature that's hardest to be raised. But I'll raise you. Do you hear me? All right then. Now, so the messenger said the nation gonna go down to almost nothing. He said, but it will be rebuilt, never to fall again. I will rise again. That's it. See how true that song is? Yeah. They say, oh, that's gone. Yeah, come on, say I'm dead and gone. But soon you're gonna see that you was wrong. What the book said? The kingdom of heaven is like unto a merchant man that went out and searching for treasure. Huh? And when he found that, he hid it there. And went and sold all that he had and bought that field. Huh? Yeah. He bought the field. It's like treasure hidden in a field. What is religion? What is Islam? It's a treasure from God hidden in the field of religion. And what happened? When a man found it, I found Islam. As the messenger said, he said, I found you in the waste howling wilderness. He found Israel in the waste howling wilderness. He said, and I found you in the waste howling. And you are my own. And he went and sold all that he had. Gave up all that I thought I knew and bought what he was teaching. Yeah. Now, I own it. And he told me, he said, the earth belonged to you, son of man. It didn't belong to you, but now you the true owner. Israel taking it away from you. He said, come on, I want to give it back to you. Well, he done gave it back to me now. He gave me the keys. And the kingdom of the heaven and the earth belong to me now. And I don't need you to tell me it's mine. Well, I don't need your permission to say it's mine. I'm showing you that it's mine. The boy made him a little tape before he shot up them people. Huh? Was he ugly? He wasn't ugly. But he was about to do something ugly. Huh? You just never know. He looked so nice, didn't he? Little did the people know that he was getting ready to go back and do what? Because his mind wasn't right. Yeah? I told you. How you going to fight me when you can't think? I look at you and laugh at you. Scheming and talking about what you going to do to Allah and his representative? Oh. Yeah. Okay. Scheme on. Feel like you want to scheme? That's your way of letting off steam. Scheme on. It's them songs. Them songs came about with me. Yeah. Everything was put here for me. Computers. The kingdom of heaven is like unto a great net. The internet. All that for me. Yeah. Allah said, I will help you. Allah's the truth. Huh? They even got a box now you can go buy, and it will let you get the station that we own, let you get it anywhere on the planet. Yeah. All right, go ahead and try to hide the sun. Soon you'll see that I'm the one. That's right. You know clouds going to get in the way. We burn them off. Burn them off how? With new technology. When they think they're blocking something, just bring out something else. Here you go. All I say, here you go. Take this. This will get them. Huh? Oh, praise is due to Allah. He's a mighty good God to serve. The only God to serve. And he's with me. So, all praise is due to Allah. You notice George Washington, he warned them about, all they got to do is go and read George Washington. He pulled the cover off of Grover Norquist and the boys. Huh? Told them what they was up to. They said, watch these fellas. They gonna misrepresent what one district is and against another. They put you against each other. Huh? Scheming. Yeah. So it ain't no new tricks. There's nothing new under Yaqub. No, ain't nothing new. Just the same old soup warmed over. So he don't know nothing new to do. He didn't author what he's doing. Huh? And so in the same way Allah made him, and created him, taught him, he even says of me, he said, we created man, and we know what his mind suggests to him. Yeah. Meaning what? We understand. As the messenger said, he said, some of you will say, oh no, I'm no God and you're no God. He said, yeah, I know you're going to think that. He said, okay, get your God out and show him to me. Is that what he said? Because that's what I was thinking. No, ain't no God. He said, well, you just keep on. You will soon wake up. Yep. And I have woke up. Now I know what I'm talking about when I say God. I know what they mean when they said, yeah, the Lord, he is God. Look at how they said it. They didn't say, know ye, Lord, that you are God. No. They said, know ye that the Lord, he is God. Why? They bearing witness to you about me. You see. They was told to bear witness. That's right. The Son of Man is what? Lord of the Sabbath day. We in the Sabbath day. And you see, I done shut everybody's mouth. I have to say it like that to provoke Mr. Big Head. That's what we call Yaqub, the big-head scientist. Yeah. So the big-headed people sitting up out there, I'll show that so-and-so. Yeah, come on and show me. Then you will understand that, Yaqub, he was wise, but he's your Lord, he ain't mine. It says, when your Lord said to the angels, I'm going to place a ruler in there. Yeah. Is that what what he said, ain't it? And so, then another one said again. Says, when thy Lord said to the angels, I'm going to create a mortal. If you're going to create him, he's new. Huh? You don't create something that's already here. But you do create something that wasn't here. Did you ever think over that? Okay. I'm going to create him of sounding clay of black mud, fashioned into shape. He's not going to be. You notice, it's hard to get somebody who's used to being over people to submit to being under somebody. Huh? Because they've already been shaped into a mold by their actions. Man is a creature of what? Of what he practices, huh? The more you practice a thing, the more you are shaped into the thinking of that practice. Right? Okay. Allah said he's going to create a man, a mortal, of sounding clay, of black mud, fashioned into a certain shape. Huh? You know, a child's mind is easily shaped. Is that right? Okay. And our minds were shaped into that of a servant, of a slave. You see? It ain't hard to get us to work for somebody. It's hard to get us not to. Right? So that last verse, so I'll come again and take my people back. Huh? What? We let you have dominion for a time. Until when? Till the day that they are created. Your creation or your raising is like that of us, what? You know, that's the one thing that all of us have in common. We don't mind working for other people. Right? We look for jobs, working. All y'all got a job working for somebody else. We ain't working in our own stuff. Well, I'm here to take you back now. Praise is due to Allah. I mean, you know, sometimes we send children off to boarding school. Boarding school? What do we have over here? He worked us day and night and gave us room and board. Is that right? And when we call on for our parents, your mama can't help you now. Daddy can't help you, mine. Your behind is mine. Is that what the dragon lady told us? Huh? A dragon lady is a real strict female guardian. Was America real strict? Huh? Told us say yes, ma'am. Yes, said no, ma'am. Yes, sir. No, sir. Get up and get to work. Is that right? Yeah, and didn't nobody want to let us do nothing. We had some step brothers and step sisters. Huh? Like Cinderella did. Go over there and clean up. Right? Sweep the floor, mop the floor. Nurse my children. I got nerve enough to come out there talking about Michelle Obama trying to tell us how to eat and whatnot. Black woman been wet nursing you all your life. She the first lady that ever came out there concerned about what you was putting in yourself. You ought to be down there kissing her foot. Right there. And I'll tell you something else. Any of you that's with me, if your heart was in this, your wealth would be in it too. Like mine is. As I told the brother I was talking to last night, I said, I ain't got no bailout money. Everything I got is in that account called Muhammad's Temple over there at that bank. That's why everything you see that I'm doing is right here. It can be seen. These brothers know that I give them hundreds of dollars to go and get stuff for us. I ain't playing no game here. Nobody got to stand up and beg me to help them to help me. You say you done gave me your allegiance, then your allegiance ain't your allegiance if it don't come with your pocketbook. Surely my prayers are to Allah. My sacrifices are for Allah. My life is for Allah, and my death is for Allah. To judge. So Iblis was promised respite until the day when we were created, when they are raised. Your creation or your raising. And now the Nation of Islam had been raised. The idea of it was raised up and taken a look at. That's how they knew that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was the messenger of Allah. Don't you fool yourself. White folks don't go out to no and escort nobody from no airport. No Negro preacher. They was escorting him back in 59. Because they know they had taught some fools out there. As one of my brothers brought to my attention, and I agreed with it. Yeah, white folks know they had made a fool out of some of their people, and they didn't want to have one of them fools out there call themselves attacking the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and bring about the doom of this country. You better protect him, just like you better not let none of them do nothing to me. Or attempt to do. You better get out the way. Because you ain't going to do nothing to me. Even if you don't let them, stop them. Allah can stop them. And stop you for not stopping them. And why you think they don't say nothing to me? They're not saying nothing. But praise the Lord. You heard them tell me, God bless you. Huh? Since when you heard a white man say God bless a black man who fussing him out? Okay. So, I love to teach you to do the right thing. Just like, why should I have to keep on reminding you once I done told you what I want you to do? You supposed to do that until I tell you don't do it no more. If I told you to support Food Land, I didn't ever take that back. I told you to do your bulk of your shopping over there. So what is it that I can tell you to do that you think that's going to hurt you? Only reason it'll hurt you is because you don't believe in me and you don't trust me and you think that I'm messing up or whatever, and so Allah ain't with you. And if you don't trust me, why you say you my follower? And if you are my follower, why you don't do what I told you? Son of man, they hear your words, but they will not do them. That's what he told them. The only black-owned supermarket in Detroit, struggling to stay open. And you running around here talking about your black pride and all that. You lying. You ain't got no black pride. Otherwise, people would be complaining that Food Land getting all the business. They'd be competing with each other to put their produce in Food Land. Because it don't do them no good to put it in Walmart or put it in all them other places if everybody's shopping at Food Land. Then guess whose prices would be the lowest? You don't know nothing about business. You just think you do. You know so much, how come you wasn't doing nothing when I met you? Hanging on. I put you all in some state-of-the-art places with money that you had and didn't know what to do with. It ain't how much you got, it's what you know to do with what you have. You don't know what to do with it, you can have billions of dollars and it ain't gonna do you no good. Because you don't know what to do with it. So I'm telling you, if you will follow me, soon everybody that's about something that's black, all you got to do is just do like I tell you. And everybody that could help black people that's black will soon join with us. Everybody join with something that they see they can get some progress from. A smart man, though, you don't have to beg a smart man to make a wise investment. When you present the thing to him, his wisdom takes over. And he said, by all means, let me invest in this. Invest what? I'm not talking about money only. I'm talking about invest yourself in it. Your time and your money. Your whole self. Yeah. Do the hokey pokey on that. Put your whole self in. Or put your whole self out. Is that right? That's right. Some of y'all not familiar with that. You did the hokey pokey before, didn't you? All right then. Okay. Yep. Sooner or later, you got to put your whole self in, man. Huh? Even them little rhymes tell you how it goes. Put your right foot in, put your right foot out. You test the waters, right? Put your right foot in and shake it all about. Huh? You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. Turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. Huh? Let the wicked forsake his way and the unrighteous man his thoughts, and turn to the Lord. Huh? Yes, sir. Oh, yeah. The messenger said what he was doing was an example. Okay, you tested it. You found that the Muslims was the most progressive people in the black community. The most progressive group of black people that ever hit the black community was the Nation of Islam. You ain't never seen no group of black people start importing and exporting and had ships coming in, bringing in produce with their flag flying on it. And the Muslims got more respect from the world, but especially the white man in America. And you so trifling that you don't even want that. The messenger told you right. He said of himself, he said, I'm the last man to try to pull you out of the way of thinking, the power of the white man. Said, I'm the last one. He said, the others coming, they're coming to destroy you for not listening to what I'm teaching. That's what he said. The only one that's teaching something that ain't destroying you is me. He said, if you don't, as Allah told him, he said, if you can do anything with them, Elijah, I'll give them to you. He said, he said, you can believe it or not, I'm your greatest friend. If I can do anything with you, you are saved. If I cannot, God is not going to try. Did you hear what he said? He said, God is not going to try. The minute I find out that you disbelieve in any of the messengers of God and you come in here with your insulting remarks, I tell you bye. And I mean it. You hate them, you hate me. And I know it, and they knew it. You see? So whatever you did to them, it was to me. And you respect and love them, then it's the same as I know you respect and love me. That ain't hard to figure out. You know. And so I show you love. Show you, not just tell you. I show you. Ain't my fault that you ain't got sense enough to appreciate it, brother and sister. That's your fault. There ain't no such thing as loving somebody and don't care nothing about them. Huh? There ain't no such thing as loving somebody and going along with them when they're wrong. That ain't love. Most people that go along with you when you're wrong, the only reason they're doing it is so that when you get on them about something, they'll have something to get on you back about. They don't care nothing about you. I'm fooling nobody. That's why I don't have to, when I get on you about something, or when something come up, and you say something, if you said something to me, You know, I mean, I done already told you if it was something that you was doing wrong. I don't have to bring it up just because you brought something up that you thought about me. I've been telling you when you was wrong all the time. Well, some of y'all, you hold stuff. And then when somebody get on you, then you start bringing out what you've been holding. Why'd you wait till then to bring it out? Because you've been holding it. That's not righteousness. Oh, you know, you tell on me, I'm going to tell on you. That's the way children think. That's not the way grown folks think. That's a child's mind. No matter what you tell, that ain't going to change the fact that you still was wrong. And don't make no difference how much company you got. You still wrong. So, but as you know, George Washington, he was a very wise man. Wisdom is like gold. It's where you find it. If you find it at the bottom of the ocean, it's still gold. If you find it at the top of a mountain, it's still gold. You find it in a swamp, it's still gold. And wherever it is, its presence makes where you found it a valuable place. Most people don't have sense enough to know that. So, wisdom is too high for a fool. So, it says, will it not be their wisdom to rely for the preservation, to rely for the preservation of these advantages, to rely on the unity, the union by which they were obtained? It says, will they not henceforth be deaf to those advisors, if such there are who would sever them from their brethren and connect them with aliens? You heard Michelle Bachmann and many of the Republicans praising Putin while dishonoring President Obama. What have Putin did for America? You heard them lifting him up, right? You know, they're going to connect you with aliens. Ain't that something? I mean, it's so, I mean, I didn't get a chance to finish reading. I'm going to have to go through it again. No, they say, well, I'm glad he finished with that. No, I'm going to play it again. It's like one of them, records that you're trying to learn. You play it again. Is that right? Yeah. Yes, sir. I'm definitely going to read it again. And I hope everybody will go online and read George Washington's farewell address so that it will be, you know, like the teachers, you know, when they, in many of your schools, they used to tell you, go and read chapter 2 and 3 and we will discuss it when we come to class. Right? Because once you read it and familiarize yourself with it, you get more out of it when you are discussing it. Do you understand? It's online, George Washington's farewell address to the Union. Leave the porno site and go to the George Washington's farewell address. All right? You know, the net got all kind of good stuff and bad stuff in it. Get the good stuff and throw the bad away. All right? That's where you do that. Yeah. So, he said, to the efficacy and permanency of your union, a government for the whole is indispensable. Yes. Says no alliance, however strict, between the parts can be an adequate substitute for the whole thing. Excuse me. You remember how many times I done told you, we ain't got but one brotherhood. We ain't got no cliques in here. Brother so-and-so, he's all right with me. So all the brothers are all right with us. And all the sisters is all right with us. You got one leader and teacher in the new nation of Islam. And that's me. We don't choose one brother over another brother. We got all the brothers. You correct all the brothers equally if they need correcting. And if they don't accept it, you got a way to adjudicate that. You bring it to me. Am I clear? But we don't have no cliques. Is that clear? So, because when you do that, you're destroying your house. You're destroying your nation. You ain't building, you're destroying it. You know, correct people when they're wrong. But remember, we are the enemy of wrong and not the enemy of each other. Okay. Now, let's see here. There's so many things that, you know, let's see here. See if I can get a little something here that'll help you understand something.
Good afternoon and welcome to Capital Account. I'm Lauren Lister here in Washington, D.C. These are your headlines. For April 10, 2012, U.S. President Barack Obama makes a case in Florida for the Buffett rule, a minimum tax rate for millionaires. Take a look.
Warren Buffett is paying a lower tax rate than his secretary. Now that's wrong. That's not fair.
Well, then he reportedly heads to a $15,000 a head campaign fundraiser. So how does that work exactly? The presumably wealthy people paying $15,000 for dinner with Obama are giving him money for him to raise their taxes? What do they think's in it for them? We'll talk about how the political process really works when it comes to the money being thrown around. And here to do it.
Now, before I let this finish playing, all millionaires and billionaires don't hate this country. Some of them got sense enough to recognize you don't kill the goose that laid all the golden eggs. Huh? But some have come here. How many of y'all saw The Americans? You see that series that came on, The Americans? You're too busy looking at the other stuff. But anyway, it's some Russian agents that came over here, and they have children that they're raising up. And they've been here so long that they don't even have an accent anymore. And they're inside the country, inside of America, disguised as Americans working against America. Do you understand? Okay. You know, that's the one thing about the devil. Deceiving you and messing over you ain't no fun to him if he can't somehow brag about it. And Allah made him that way so that, he keeps the playing field level. Even, you notice, just about every, including cancer, every disease that can affect you, it has some subtle warning signs that it's there. Huh? It's up to you to notice it and check yourself. Right? Okay. Why do you think they put that on the TV? Then you look at Congress now. Why were they so fearless and unremorseful to crash America's credit rating? A lot of them were saying, well, that's no big thing. They are from the outside. They don't care. What kind of government official that cares about America don't care about America's credit rating? If you was the CEO of a company, you know that no company does cash and carry business. Anybody that's in business know that if you don't have credit, you soon out of business. Huh? If you know that, how could the credit rating of America be of no importance to those people who was in Congress and let the credit rating of America slip because they was trying to teach some kind of lesson to people who voted for President Obama? Huh? Okay. But you see it was some wealthy people like Warren Buffett and what was the CEO of that company? Was it what company was that? No, not Solyndra. They're a well-known company. What? It's right on the tip of my tongue. I can't think of it now for nothing. But it's a well-known company. General Electric. The CEOs of General Electric were supporting the president. And Warren Buffett and wasn't Boone Pickett. And many of those wealthy people were saying he's got to, that's the right thing to do. Tax us. You know, but who created this? They tried to say that President Obama was trying to create caste wars, you know, class wars. But who actually created that? The Bush administration did when they cut the taxes of the rich. They didn't cut everybody's taxes, they cut the taxes of the rich. So when you start asking them to pay that money that they had them tax cuts, let those tax cuts expire and those taxes go back into play, and say, well, why are you doing that? Because it's time for those who have benefited. We need that money back now. Oh, he's creating class warfare. Huh? You know, to a dumb person, I mean, yeah. But to the wise, they know that, look, man, they didn't ask for them tax breaks. They didn't even need them. The president said that. You didn't have no rich people say we need those tax breaks. You know why he didn't come in there and say they needed it? Because then they would have had to say why. I mean, they didn't ask for it in the first place. It was just done, wasn't it? Okay. Somebody ordered somebody to do it. Grover Norquist said, we're going to put our foot on the line and watch it shrink down. Right? So you don't have to say you're going to shut the government down if you cut off revenue from the government. Then everything going to shrink. Right? Well, listen.
Yes, Agent Patterson with the FBI. Yeah, I have to call you back. Mr. President.
Well, that's the Casino Jack movie version of his story. In real life, he's former super lobbyist Jack Abramoff. He pleaded guilty to lobbying-related crimes, did the time. Now he's exposing the secrets of how special interests get their way in Washington. We'll get an inside look. Also, look at how to be a crook.
Instead of just printing money and buying stuff with it, you print money and loan it to other people.
It's that simple. We'll talk about it. Let's get to today's capital account.
I got a question for you, all of you. You hear me all the time saying I'm concerned about your future and I'm concerned about my people and whatnot. And I stand up here and I say my prayers and my sacrifice and my life and my death is all for Allah. Didn't nobody have to tell me to go and look out for these things and watch these, go and see how all of this stuff is working? The concern that I have from the well-being of my people made me go find all of this stuff. That's my job. That's why I got it all stored up on my computer. You can't go find it now. But I don't have to. I got it while it was fresh.
So
So when it comes to lobbying and special interests in Washington, we talk a lot about Wall Street and the financial sector and their purported influence. And now, of course, one of the facts to support that is the lobbying dollars they spend. So the finance, along with real estate and insurance sector, ranks third in the amount of lobbying dollars spent over the last 13 years, so more than $4.8 billion. You can see there that's after health and then miscellaneous business. Now, one might deduce that it's paying off because look at how much more banks are spending as one example. This is commercial banks, and they spent $60 million in 2011. It's been going up. Now, the biggest spenders for 2011, the American Bankers Association, and a lot of names you know well, Wells Fargo, JP Morgan, Citigroup, also on that list up there is Bank of America. And take a look at hedge funds. They've really increased their spending a lot too, and also private equity, which is obviously attracting new heat these days. If we could move that forward, oh, you see it there, with Mitt Romney is the Republican frontrunner and his Bain background getting a lot of attention, so it remains to be seen what that number will look like for 2012. Now, the biggie for finance recently, post-financial crisis, seems to really have been Dodd-Frank regulation and more recently the Volcker Rule portion of it, which we've been talking a lot about. Now, we see the facts and figures, but how exactly do special interests influence Washington? How does it work? Well, we're lucky because today we have an insider here to tell us. Our guest was the Republican super lobbyist. Kevin Spacey played him in the movie version, Casino Jack, we played a bit of. He was convicted on charges of fraud, corruption, and conspiracy related to his illegal lobbying efforts back in 2006. He did the time. He was released in 2010 and has been speaking out against lobbying since then, working to reform the system. Jack Abramoff is here. He's former lobbyist, as I said, also author of Capital Punishment, The Hard Truth About Washington Corruption from America's Most Notorious Lobbyists. So thank you so much for being on the show first.
Thanks for having me.
I think our viewers are going to be really excited to hear how this all really works from someone who's experienced it firsthand. So you have called lobbying legalized bribery. I've heard you say that a number of times. In what ways are these methods, the legal methods, used to lobby a special interest cause?
Now, before we go on, a lot of you sit up and you try to suggest some kind of way that this ain't got nothing to do with nothing. That's because you don't live in the real world. See? If you lived in the real world, and when I say the real world, I'm talking about the world of truth. That which is real is that which is true. The Word of God is truth. And in the Word of God, pardon me a moment. I want to, in the book of Luke, see, when I look at these things that's happening on the news, I see the Word of God fulfilling. You see something that disinterests you. That's why Allah made me the watchman, as he said. And so in the 8th chapter of Luke, and around the 16th and 17th verse, it says, "No man, when he hath lighted a candle, covereth it with a vessel, or putteth it under a bed, but setteth it on a candlestick, that they which enter in may see the light. For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest. What Mr. Abramoff finna show you here. Have you noticed that when you look at some movies now, they show you how it was made? They show you all that Wolverine and all of them, they ain't flying, and they ain't doing that. They showing you how it was done. Nothing secret that shall not be made manifest. You know why? So when the matter is decided, the devil will say, blame me not. I showed you it was all fake. Blame yourself. He hear everything I'm saying to you. And he gonna tell you about it later. Like I tried to tell you and you wouldn't listen. So let's get back to this.
Well, I should note that not all lobbying is bribery, not all lobbying is bad. Our lobbying is guaranteed by our Constitution to petition our government. Sorry?
I said fair enough.
Yes, where money comes into play, though, where lobbyists use resources and money and their clients use it to tilt the playing field, that's where the bribery comes in and that's where the corruption comes in. And that, frankly, if you look at some of the successful sectors, we're going to talk about the banking sector and others like that, or labor unions, that's where the money comes into play in the campaigns and how they deal with congressmen, things like that, and that's a corruption.
Well, give me an example of what you would consider legalized bribery.
Well, anytime, I didn't hope this way, by the way, when I was a lobbyist. Obviously, I had a different view of the matter, but anytime,
shocking.
yes, well, nothing like a 2x4 to the head to get your attention, as it was with me, but basically, anytime somebody who's trying to get something back from the federal government gives something, a donation, a meal, golf, tickets to a ball game, to a public servant with the intent of getting that public servant to do something for them, it's a bribe. If we did that with a judge, everybody would get it immediately. It's a bribe. These people basically in our system are judges. They're making judgments on behalf of the American people and giving them things or raising money for them. That's bribe.
Well, that's an interesting part of it. Talk about the raising money that lobbyists do for politicians. And what I thought was interesting that I heard you say was the politicians expect that if they're going to do something in the cases that you give.
Yeah, I think that, the way the lobbyists get in there the most is by raising money. These folks, if you look at the congressional races, certainly the Senate races, they cost tens of millions of dollars. They have to spend their time raising money all the time. The people who have the incentive to get them money are people who want something back from them. Until we get to a system where all of those people are excluded, we're going to have a corrupt system. And that, unfortunately, is what we have. And Congress understands the game. They understand that if somebody gives them money, that they have to at least be attentive to their needs, not necessarily do everything they want, but being attentive, that is where the corruption actually enters the process.
How much money? I'm just, what is a figure that's a significant enough figure to where someone is going to feel responsible to do something for a lobbyist?
Well, I hope, by the way, that any amount gets them going, because if you're a normal human being, if somebody does something for you, something nice for you, buys you something, gives you something, deep down at least you're going to feel gratitude. You may be a jerk and don't feel gratitude, but that's unlikely that somebody like that is going to wind up.
I don't know, politicians?
Well, maybe they're jerks, but they certainly don't act like jerks, at least to the public, and they're going to feel gratitude. And the moment that gratitude enters the process, it's not a question of how much. Frankly, $10 does it. Anything that's good starts the process, and that's why we have to cut off all money from lobbyists and their clients to public officials.
If $10 was good enough, why wouldn't some of these maybe people that are trying to reform the banking system be more successful than the J.P. Morgans of the world that are spending a lot of money?
Well, exactly. The people who are spending a lot of money are getting all the more. It's not that $10 everybody's equal if you give $10 or $10 million. I guess what I'm saying is once the process starts, once the gratitude starts, there's a problem. And it's something that we don't want in our public servants, and unfortunately it's something we see virtually entirely through the whole system.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I want you to talk some specifics, because you've been writing recently about one of your clients that was Tyco in the past, and how you convinced members of Congress not to impose a retroactive tax on inverted companies. So these are companies that reincorporate overseas. Usually it's to avoid paying U.S. corporate taxes.
Right.
Tax havens and moving money overseas is something we hear a lot about with corporations. So how did you go about doing that? What's the tack there?
Well, Tyco came to me. They were basically far down the road of being in trouble. The Senate had already put them into their bill. The House was about to do it, and they had been failed by other lobbying firms. And the tack I took was that I organized the companies. Tyco is basically a conglomerate of about 350 companies. And I took all the vendors of all the companies, the heads of all these vendors, and organize them to call the senators and the congressmen so as to say to them, listen, we're your donors, we're your friends, we're your neighbors, what are you doing? You're killing the goose that laid the golden egg, basically. You're interfering in business in a way that's unfair. They actually were proposing to put a retroactive tax to the tune of about $4.8 billion on Tyco that would have wiped them out and basically wiped out all these vendors as well.
You sound like a lobbyist now.
I used to be. It's hard to get it out of the system.
Okay, so that's an example of a common tactic to rally the troops to oppose it?
Yes, I think we've seen more and more over the last decade that lobbyists realize they can't just do everything inside the Beltway. They've got to go outside the Beltway. They've got to go into the districts and into the states. And this is one of the dangers, by the way, with the decision of Citizens United and super PACs, that lobbyists can marshal unlimited funds if they're good at what they do and have dramatic impact on some of the races out there. And that's, I think, is something we certainly did and something we see a lot of now.
So you think that's going on now, and
Yeah,
it's worse than when you were a lobbyist, possibly?
I don't know if it was worse. It was pretty bad when I was a lobbyist. It was pretty bad by what we did. I think basically our attitude was we were going to do everything we can to win. And that meant that we're going to play harder, we're going to get more resources together, we're going to send more contributions than anybody else. And we, in fact, won. I only lost one time over 10 years, and that's because the amount of resource side that tilted the playing field in a way that, frankly, made it impossible for people to compete against us.
Okay, let's talk about banking, because that's obviously a sector that spends a lot of money, and we've seen the big banks continue to get what they want as far as regulation, as far as impacting the bills, the taxes, the rules. I mean, far beyond the bailouts that we saw in 2008. So I want to talk a little bit about that. You actually brought up in one of your recent pieces, you talked about what the top lobbyist, really, the American Banker Association Executive VP, was talking about launching a fight against Obama's proposed increase to the bank tax. You point out that the banks have been successful in lobbying against taxes like this. It's not just...
Now, don't forget that off of that bailout, the government made money. They got their money back with interest. You understand? But when this was planned, they tried to make it look like it was something crooked had been done, right? When all the president did when he followed through on that bailout was save the savings accounts and checkings accounts of many of the people like us who got a little money in the bank and didn't realize that our money was in them, had been transferred to them big old banks anyway. You know, the bank that you put your money in town, they don't just keep that money there. They put that money out there so they can give you some interest while they're getting some interest off of it. If you let them big banks fail, then that has a domino effect on the other little banks that's got money in there. And the federal government still wind up having to give you some of that money back from that FDIC insurance. Right? So, but they don't talk to you like that. As the president, one thing he said that he didn't do as well as he should have, and he said, was communicate to the American people. Communicate. Communicate what? Man, it was so much to communicate. Yeah, I mean, you don't realize how, you know, people talk about America being so technologically advanced and the most advanced nation on earth, but in reality, they may have advanced technologically, but educationally, America, it leaves a lot to be desired. People are ignorant in this country. They really don't know what's going on. That's why people can come to them and spend all kind of money on false ads and false propaganda and set them in motion doing stuff based on lies. Had them thinking that their friend is their enemy and that their enemy is their friend. Anytime a man like Grover Norquist don't fear to come out and tell you that he controls many members of your Congress, and you don't even know that that's what he's telling you, you pretty dumb. Do you understand? You know, sometimes I let people talk to me like I'm dumb, because I want to know what's on their mind. So I don't say everything I know. You know, I mean, if you think that someone who has done as much as you've seen me do with as little as you done seen me have, if you come out of that thinking that I'm stupid, well, that's what I want you to think. You know, that's good. That shows me how stupid you got to be. So, but anyway, now Jack Abramoff, he's telling them what's going on, huh? But they talk so fast that you can't hardly keep up with what they're saying. But just listen.
The bailout money in 2008 that they've been successful in kind of having a say in. He said they were going to deploy some grassroots pressure. It's known as astroturfing. You said, come on, I don't buy that as working. How do you think the banks are effective in lobbying and getting their way?
Well, I think that one of the things I took issue with what he did was that he's announcing what he's doing in advance, and there's a certain arrogance there, frankly, that we're going to deploy the grassroots. That sort of undercuts the whole notion that it's actual grassroots. That it's not on for at least the dance should go on, or has been going on in Washington for years, the hypocritical dance. So he's actually avoided that whole situation.
Well, that's interesting. Do you think that shows that lobbyists feel they can get away with anything? They don't even have to kind of give the PR to make it sound like they're not trying these tactics?
I think that's definitely the case, and certainly in this case, and I think we find it in other areas too.
Just a moment. Just a moment. I'm going to try something else with this. Let's see. No, it won't let me do it. I was going to try to put it to my Windows, because in Windows I could put it on a little slower motion. I just did, and it won't let me do it. It's not set for Windows. But so just pay as much attention as you can.
Lobbyists feel all-powerful. Lobbyists, such as I was, really get almost everything they want, because first of all, you have a team of people, you know the system, you have experts on your staff, as I did, who know every intricate detail. The people you're up against, they don't know what's going on, they don't know the timing, they don't have the inside information that you do in terms of what Congress is doing. You're giving the money, they're not. You're taking them out to play golf, they're not.
Every intricate detail about what? Skeletons in Congress people's closets. Things that, if made public, would ruin the man's reputation. Do you understand what I mean, they just tell you little thing. He ain't telling you the whole thing. He just tell you they know intricate details. Well, what is intricate details? Those are small. The devil is in the what? The devil is in the details. You know, I mean, look. It's so much that if Allah wasn't with me, there ain't no way I could deal with this man. He'd be talking right in your presence and talking over your head, and you never know. He'd be sitting there planning your execution. They're planning, matter of fact, getting ready to do it to you right then and doing the countdown right in front of you, and you don't even know It's like, I know they think we ain't noticed that strange noise that you come out every day in here. Now, that's been in the air around here. But we hear it. Now, if he's scheming to do harm to somebody, it's going to blow up in his face. You know? It's a what?
Cicadas. No, they cicadas. They do here.
Well, they better be. All right. Oh, they do every 7 years? Okay. All right. We'll let that be it for now. All right. But the point is, you know, I mean, I don't fret over nothing, because Allah already told me ain't no weapon formed against you gonna prosper. So don't you worry over it. Let me worry about the devil, and you go and do what I gave you to do. Now, I'll pull your coat to everything that the tricks and stuff that he played. He that's from above, huh? And you know, when if you don't have no view of the earth while you sitting on it, you don't know what this earth really look like. You got to get out there above it. Then you see the whole thing. When you see it as an object, now you can see it. You can't see the forest as long as you in it. You got to get out of it and look at it. Then you see it's a forest here. Do you understand? All right. I see a lot of things. Remember, the child says the dragon was ready to devour the child, but the child was caught up. Huh? To God and where? His throne. Yeah. So, you know, I mean, really, I mean, you don't get to what's in God's brain unless he lets you get there. You see? And he told me now, eat the whole book up. That's God's throne there. That's God's brain that I'm learning from. And the devil can't do nothing that we didn't make plans and show that we planned for him to do it. Huh? That's why he told the Lord when he asked him, have you considered Job? He said, but you got the hedges around him. That was his way of saying, yeah, I done looked over there at him, but I can't do nothing with him unless you tell me it's okay. Is that right? You know, don't nothing happen on this planet without Allah's permission. You see? And what did Jesus say to Pilate? He said, man, don't you know that I have power to release or to kill you? Jesus said, you couldn't have no authority over me at all, except it was given to you from above. Huh? So he that delivered me to you have the greatest sin. Jesus knew who the power was with. It was with the devils for a time. So you thought I was going to say God, huh? Who gave the devil his authority? All this was delivered unto who? Unto me. And whosoever I will, I give it. Is that what he said? Jesus didn't forget that. That's why he said, he that delivered me to you had the greatest sin. Huh? If God told him that it's unlawful for him to put any man to death, you remember when Pilate told him, you kill him. It's against our law to do that. Well, then what was they trying to get him killed for? Did not Moses give you the law, and yet none of you keepeth the law? Why go ye about to kill me? Who trying to kill you, man? You have a devil. Is that what they said? But they finally told the truth on themselves when Pilate said, won't y'all do it? Right? So they trying to pull technicalities. Well, God said for us not to do it. He didn't say not to get you to do it. Is that right? Is that right? I can get you to do it. That's what the devil does. He tries to get you to obey God, disobey God. I will cause them all to do what? I didn't do it. He did. And then when he tried to tell her that, well, he told me to do it. I ain't have no authority to tell you to do that. Do that. Yeah. The devil ever deserts man. It's just like your devils tell you to come in here and try to argue with me, and then when you get in here, they desert you. you discover that the thoughts that you thought you had to argue with me, when you try them, they don't make no sense. Made sense before, but it just don't make no sense when you meet me. So, but anyway, Abramoff, he's pulling the covers off of him. You know, as he said, you know, I had people that know the intricate details, of those congressmen's lives. And they said, now look, do you want us to expose this, or you want to take this money and go on and have a happy life? Now.
With them dare not, you're at an immense advantage over the common people and anyone who frankly doesn't have the resources you do.
So then I kind of got us off track because of the tangent on his comments. How do you think the banking sector gets their interests advanced?
Well, I think the banking sector, to the degree that anything proposed is a tax increase, they have a built-in advantage in the sense that Republicans are just not in favor of tax increases, and they're not in favor of closing loopholes unless the marginal rate comes down. So anything that's proposed that can be fashioned as a tax increase, there's an immense advantage going in. And we saw that also, by the way, in terms of what was going on with the oil companies, the energy companies, with the so-called subsidy that was defeated.
Look, remember this. If you remember the history of the Boston Tea Party, then you know that the Boston Tea Party was about colonists from the colonies dressing up like Indians and going on there tearing up the British ships and dumping the tea overboard. So that the colonists wouldn't get the blame. You understand? And they called it the what? The Boston Tea Party. Okay. In order to not ruin the Republican brand, they created a Tea Party. To do all of that crazy stuff, and so the Tea Party did it. When what has actually happened is the Republican Party has been infiltrated and has actually been changed into something that it wasn't meant to be. Do you understand? The way that the reason it worked so well, Democrats and Republicans, because some were, as they say, conservative, and others were liberal. And as I told you before, in order to make progress in the country, you needed balance. You needed certainly to make progress, but you needed it to be slow and steady, not hastily done. And so whenever someone is liberal, it's good to be liberal, but don't go too far. Because the next thing you'll be doing is doing something that you'll later regret. So they argue it out. And then they come to a compromise. Do you understand? And that's how the government has worked. But they have so many people that have infiltrated into the party, especially the Republican Party, that brought extremist views, and the more of those who thought like them were pumped into the party through these lobbyists and stuff. Once the money started rolling in, they started moving their men. They started playing chess, putting their men in position. Then they stopped hiding their true feelings. Because at the same time they was moving their men in, they was taking over news media and re-educating the people and changing the way the people look at each other, turning one district against the other district like George Washington warned them against. Huh? I mean, you got to know, this thing go deep, man. By the time you see cancer, man, you got a real problem. Because you didn't catch it when it was just a cell. Huh? So, but it's not impossible to deal with cancer. You just got to know how to deal with it. You see? And so, whenever you, what does cancer do? It harms its own host. What is these Republicans in Congress doing to the House of Representatives and the Senate? Look at how the rating of Congress and the Senate, I should say the Congress, has tanked. Went down to 9% approval. Do they care? Mm-mm. So they're not representing the people. If they represented the people, they would care. But the mere fact they don't care is proof that they no longer represent the people. They represent the people who paid and manipulated the people into putting them in there. You understand? I mean, they like a, you remember that thing Fred Sanford, when Fred was on and his crook cousin came over there? I think she was his cousin. And said, I'm gonna fix you some fried chicken and some mashed potatoes and Fred and Lamont said, oh yeah, yeah. And she got ready to go fix it and said, oh my back. He said, oh, you'll be back there? No, don't go in there yet. And we'll go fix you something. And she laying down there living the life of Riley until Fred and them woke up to what she was doing. She was just telling them what they wanted to hear. That's what them boys did to get elected. They told the people what they wanted to hear, and then they began getting in there systematically dismantling the government. Do you understand? Harming the body that they had tricked into letting them in there. And the Congress and the president and all now have a choice to make. Are you going to obey your the oath that you took? Or are you going to just let this stuff go? You took an oath to protect America from foreign and domestic enemies. I'm not saying lynch them, but I am saying be aware that they are there and call them out. So if you didn't come up here to help create jobs, if you didn't come up here to represent the American people have spoken as to what they want. The American people have said that they want President Obama. Then why are you not supporting him? He got the majority. Matter of fact, he got almost 5 million more votes than Romney. Well, why are you not, since the majority have spoken? What's Congress and the Senate supposed to be doing? The House of Representatives and the Senate, what are they supposed to be doing? Whatever direction the president want to go, as long as he ain't breaking no laws. he has won the right to lead the country. Is that right? That's the way it used to be. So, brother and sister, I mean, you know, I wasn't involved in it until I see, as the messenger said, we don't get in your wars unless America herself is attacked. We staying out of your stuff. Well, America have been attacked now from within. That's why I have to get in it. Now, I can't make you defend yourself, but I can tell you that you need to defend yourself. You need to see that you got internal enemies that you need to deal with. When you go to any physician, if you got cancer or something, he can't make you treat it, but he can tell you you need treatment. Huh? Because it ain't going to get better by itself. Right? And so that's what I'm here for. I mean they had a man that was sitting up there and went to jail after he fessed up. Let me see if it's in this one. No, it ain't on that one. So let me see if I can find another one. Where the man was confessing that he signed stuff and didn't know what was in it. I said, boy, this is something. Let's see here. Give me a minute. And he went to jail. Let's see. See, I think it was entitled Bribery. No, I guess it wasn't. Let's see. Y'all give me a minute. I'm trying to find the one. And I was hoping I'd see the man on there talking. But it don't look like that's going to give it to me. Let's try this.
Jack Abramoff may be the most notorious and crooked lobbyist of our time. He was at the center of a massive scandal of brazen corruption and influence peddling. As a Republican lobbyist starting in the mid-1990s, he became a master at showering gifts on lawmakers in return for their votes on legislation.
Y'all give me a minute. This thing don't want to... Trying to get it to close here. You all pardon me a minute. Let's see. It's not allowing me to ain't no start button, ain't nothing coming up. Can't you see it? Well, come up here and show me. I don't see no start button on here. But that's not.
You want to close the videos right there at the moment.
Where?
Right there. Right click. Close just.
You all pardon me a minute here. Huh?
It's closed. It's closed.
Well, why is the screen still black? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I still don't know what you did.
Right here. It should show desktop. Click on that. Show the desktop. Remember what you have up there.
Okay.
Click on it again.
All right.
There you go.
Okay. Now, let's see what I can find here. I did have a, I put folders up here that gave me some of everything. I kept records. Always keep a record. People like to come back and say they didn't say it. But if you got a record, let's see what this is. Some of these things may be videos and some of them may not. I'll know in a minute.
And that's why this plan eliminates tax loopholes that primarily go to the wealthiest taxpayers and biggest corporations.
We're going to close the unlimited tax loopholes that allow some of the truly wealthy to avoid paying their fair share. In theory, some of those loopholes were understandable, but in practice, they sometimes made it possible for millionaires to pay nothing, while bus drivers paying 10% of their salary, and that's crazy.
Middle-class families shouldn't pay higher taxes than millionaires and billionaires.
Because they pay more in taxes than the bus driver or less.
Warren Buffett's secretary shouldn't pay.
All right. Let's see. Congressional crookedness. Maybe that's what I was. Let's see.
Please listen to the following menu. For convertibles, press star 1. They're warning them that a global financial meltdown could occur within a few days. One of those attending was Alabama Representative Spencer Backus, then the ranking Republican member on the House Financial Services Committee, and now its chairman.
These meetings were so sensitive that they would actually confiscate cell phones and BlackBerries going into those meetings. What we know is that those meetings were held one day, and literally the next day, Congressman Backus would engage in buying stock options based on apocalyptic briefings that he had had the day before from the Fed chairman and the Treasury secretary. I mean, talk about a stock tip.
While Congressman Backus was publicly trying to keep the economy from cratering, he was privately betting that it would, buying option funds that would go up in value if the market went down. He would make a variety of trades and profit at a time when most Americans were losing their shirts. Congressman Backus declined to talk to us, so we went to his office and ran into his press secretary, Tim Johnson.
We're now alleging that Congressman Backus.
Did everybody hear that clearly? If you can't hear it, you let me know. Okay.
Has violated any laws. Oh, the only thing we're interested in talking to him is about his, about his trades.
Okay, that's a fair enough request.
What we got was a statement from Congressman Backus's office that he never trades on non-public information or financial services stock. However, his financial disclosure form seemed to indicate otherwise. Backus made money trading General Electric stock during the crisis, and a third of GE's business is in financial services. During the healthcare debate of 2009, members of Congress were trading healthcare stocks, including House Minority Leader John Boehner, who led the opposition against the so-called public option, government-funded insurance that would compete with private companies. Just days before the provision was finally killed off, Boehner bought health insurance stocks, all of which went up. Now Speaker of the House, Congressman Boehner also declined to be interviewed, so we tracked him down at his weekly press conference.
Speaker Boehner, you made a number of trades going back to the healthcare debate. You bought some insurance stock. Did you make those trades based on non-public information?
I have not made any decisions on day-to-day trading activities in my account, and haven't for years. I do not do it. I haven't done it. I wouldn't do it.
Later, Boehner's spokesman told us that the healthcare trades were made by the Speaker's financial advisor, who he only consults with about once a year.
We need to find out whether they're part of a blind trust or not.
Peter Schweitzer thinks the timing is suspicious and believes congressional leaders should have their stock funds in blind trusts.
Whether it's $15,000 or $150,000, the principle in my mind is that it's simply wrong and it shouldn't take place.
But there is a long history of self-dealing in Washington, and it doesn't always involve stock trades.
Congressmen and senators also seem to have a special knack for land and real estate deals. When Illinois Congressman Dennis Hastert became Speaker of the House in 1999, he was worth a few $100,000. He left the job 8 years later, a multimillionaire.
The road that Hastert wants to build will go through these farm fields right here.
In 2005, Speaker Hastert got a $207 million federal earmark to build the Prairie Parkway through these cornfields near his home. What Jan Strasma and his neighbors didn't know was that Hastert had also bought some land adjacent to where the highway is supposed to go.
5 months after this earmark went through, he sold that land and made a bundle of money.
How much?
$2 million.
What do you think of it?
It stinks.
We stopped by the former Speaker's farm to ask him about the land deal, but he was off in Washington, where he now works as a lobbyist. His office told us that property values in the area began to appreciate even before the earmark, and that the Hastert land was several miles from the nearest exit. But the same good fortune befell former New Hampshire Senator Judd Gregg, who helped steer nearly $70 million in government funds towards redeveloping this defunct Air Force base, which he and his brother both had a commercial interest in. Gregg has said that he violated no congressional rules.
It's but one more example of good things happening to powerful members of Congress. Another is the access to initial public stock offerings, the opportunity to buy a new stock at insider prices just as it goes on the market. They can be incredibly lucrative and hard to get.
If you were a senator, Steve, and I gave you $10,000 cash, one or both of us is probably going to go to jail. But if I'm a corporate executive and you're a senator, and I give you IPO shares in stock, and over the course of one day, that stock nets you $100,000, that's completely legal.
And former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and her husband had participated in at least 8 IPOs. One of those came in 2008 from Visa, just as a troublesome piece of legislation that would have hurt credit card companies began making its way through the House. Undisturbed by a potential conflict of interest, the Pelosi's purchased 5,000 shares of Visa at the initial price of $44. 2 days later, it was trading at $64. Credit card legislation never made it to the floor of the House. Congresswoman Pelosi also declined our request for an interview, but agreed to call on us if we had attended a news conference.
I wanted to ask you why you and your husband, back in March of 2008, accepted and participated in a very large IPO deal from Visa at a time there was major legislation affecting their credit card companies making its way through the to the House. And did you consider that to be a conflict of interest?
I don't know what your point is of your question. Is there some point that you want to make with that?
Well, I guess what I'm asking is, do you think it's all right for a speaker to accept a very preferential, favorable stock deal?
Well, we did.
And you participated in the IPO.
Well, I have many.
And at the time you were
but
Speaker of the House. You don't think it was a conflict of interest, or had the appearance of a conflict of interest?
It only has the appearance if you decide that you're going to have elaborate on a false premise. But it's not true, and that's that.
I don't understand what part's not true.
Yes, sir. That I would act upon an investment. Yes,
Congresswoman Pelosi that the tough credit card legislation eventually passed, but it was 2 years later and was initiated in the Senate.
I will hold my record in terms of fighting the credit card companies as a Speaker of the House or as a member of Congress up against anyone's.
Corporate executives, members of the executive branch, and all federal judges are subject to strict conflict of interest rules, but not the people who write the laws.
If you are a member of Congress and you sit on the Defense Committee, you are free to trade defense stock as much as you want to. If you're on the Senate Banking Committee, you can trade bank stock as much as you want, and that regularly goes on in all of these committees.
There should only be one thing in your mind when you're drafting legislation. Is this good for the United States of America? That's it. If you were starting to say to yourself, how's this going to affect my investments? You've got a mixed agenda and a mixed purpose for being there. And
Brian Baird is a former
That was it in a nutshell. When you're in the government, you have to do what is best for the country. Anything other than that, you're out of order. When you want to do what's in your own private thing, it's time for you to get out of that public position. Because as long as you're in there, you represent the public interest, not your private interest. Huh? Because what's good maybe privately ain't necessarily good publicly. Right? There you go. But what's good for the public interest inevitably is good for the private interest in the long run. Many things that are short-term gains bring long-term losses. Okay. So, I know you ready to go, and so am I. So I'm going to, does anyone have something they want to ask me, even if it's why I took up the subject I took up? You feel free to ask me whatever you want. And if I can answer you, I will. If I can't, I ain't. So, anybody got something they want to ask me? Well, then may Allah bless us all and keep us safe and in our right minds. Beg your pardon? What is that, bro? Why do you have your phone off mute? Mute them back. Okay. May Allah bless us all and keep us safe and in our right minds. What number was that? Say what? 225-624-9035. Okay. May Allah bless us all and keep us safe and in our right minds. Allah's. Assalamu alaikum.